Hello everyone, my name's Alison and I'm just jumping on to share a little story with you. So, many years ago, I was one of these people that used to feel very confused about why things never went right in my life. I was very angry because nothing never seemed to go right. I never had anything like everybody else had. I was very stressed at the way people used to talk to me. I was very stressed because there was nobody ever there for me. Things just mounted up on top of me like a stack of bricks, guys, until I was down in the dumps so far that I just didn't know how to pick myself up. Okay, I was depressed until I didn't even know what time of day it was. The anger within me raged at 100% decimals around me at anybody that got in my way. I used to have stomach cramps, IBS and all the rest, guys. Yeah, maybe not what you wanted to know, but I'm sure there's other people out there that feels exactly the same way. Yeah. Now, I didn't know why it was happening to me. I just thought it was me. I just thought that I was obviously not doing anything right, or I didn't deserve to have this happy life like my friends had. I didn't work hard enough, so I couldn't possibly have these luxury holidays, nice car, money in the bank. Instead, I used to be scraping around to pay one bill instead of another. Yeah. There were so many things that happened in life as I grew up that I just took on board. I just thought that I wasn't good enough or anything like that. So, and I could sit here and go on about it forever. But my story is that I wanted to share was there are many people out there that are living behind the closed doors and you're like a wolf in sheep's clothing, and that's what I was every single day for many years. And it's very sad for me to sit here and say that, because I was very unaware that that was going on. I was very naive and very, I don't know what the word is, but very disgusted with the fact that my life had come to what it was. Yeah. You know, I had my children young and all I ever wanted was a family unit, to be loved and all that. And I could go on forever, but that's my story. And I've come on to share it with you to say that this goes on in the world and you're not alone, guys. And there's always other people out there that go through the same thing. But for me, I was very scared. Because when I did tell my friends and stuff how I was being treated by my partner, as well as everything else that was going on, I was always said, well, get over it or move away. You keep going back, it's your fault. And although in my head I knew it wasn't right, in my heart there was something telling me that there was something different going on. Yeah, so I stayed and backwards and forwards, and I didn't even understand why this was happening to me, but I just cracked on with it because I just thought it was the normal, it was what I was here to do, and I just trudged on and kept my mind busy and just went on to it until the day that my mum passed away, really. In between all that, between me growing up and having the kids and being with this partner and him having a drink and getting shouting and banging about and arguings, and with every little knockback and nasty word I heard, it used to knock my self-confidence down. It would make me feel ill. I would be under the doctor with depression. I'd have IBS. And all the while I was thinking, what have I actually done to deserve this lifestyle? Yeah. And when my mum died, it was like a bullet of white light come and said, you're better than this. Don't you dare go into that deep hole of depression anymore. Get up and stand up and be tall. And although it was the worst day of my life, it was also the beginning of a new chapter for me. It was like, oh, yes, there is more to life. Yeah. Because all of a sudden, there was nobody there that I could run to just to let my steam off. Nobody for me to say my words to. All of a sudden, I was alone. I had nothing that I could fill my mind with to keep me busy. My children had grown up. My grandchildren was growing up. And now the only person that I thought needed me was my mum had gone. She wasn't there anymore. It shell shocked me. It was like she was shaking me to wake up. Anyway, that being said, I was like, oh my God, really? After months had gone by, I was like, is this really what's going on around me? When I actually sat and listened to what was actually going on around me, I was like, oh my God. I used to go to work and talk to the girls, and they were like, why don't you go and see this lady? Look, she helps you with like feeling depressed and confused. Oh, gone all cold. She helps you feel like, you know, help you. And I was like, in what way can she help me? It's what my life sort of thing. Anyway, I went along, and lo and behold, I felt much better once I'd spoken to her and released a little bit of my anxiety. And knowing that I could just talk to somebody else was such an uplifting experience. I realised that for years, that's what I was actually doing to my mum. I would just go around there and she would let me vex my words, and then I would come away and feel so much lighter. But because she wasn't there for me to vex, it was just getting, the awareness was horrendous. Anyway, I used to go to this woman and feel all right. Then I'd perk myself up, just like I did when I went and spoke to my mum. And in the end, I thought, there's got to be more to it. So I used to go and I used to scare the internet. I used to download all the free help books of self-worth and all that and read up, and I'm like, oh my God, yeah, that's me. That's me. Oh yeah, that's me. And in the end, I even come across the word narcissistic, because I didn't even know that word existed either. And every time I listened to the tapes and listened to the books and read the books, and done whatever, I was like, oh my God, that's what we go. That's, oh my God, he does that to me. Oh my God, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. Then I thought, well, I don't deserve all this. So I carried on going to my mentor anyway. And she said to me, what do you think about yourself? And I didn't really like myself at that point. And cut a long story into a short one, because I don't want to go into all the detail and all that, because it takes forever, but I could talk forever. It all came down to what was lying behind my why. Guys, that's all it is. The little word, why. So why was I allowing this to go on in my life? What was the belief that I thought that I wasn't good enough for anything else, that I should stay and be allowed to be spoke to like that I'm not allowed to go out unless I ask, that it's okay for somebody to not say please and thank you to me, that I have to run around and do everything like a dog's body for everybody else and not take care of myself. Yeah, what was the beliefs behind that? And just by going and digging deep and going back into the belief system, that when I was a child, because from the age of 7, we're pure till the age of 7 or 5 or however age we start connecting with what's going on around us, we get all these beliefs from our childhood that sticks. So like for me, my mum and dad split up when I was a child. So, and we were brought up in a different world from when they were together to when they wasn't. It was hardship of the money. I never had the things that other kids had at school, so I used to get the ridicule taken out of me. I felt very lonely because once they split up, I was taken from my reality of being in that school with all my friends into a nice comfort home life into like a war zone. Mum had to go to work, so when I went to school and I was being ridiculed for not being the prettiest girl in the bunch, not having the clothes and the ghetto stuff that everybody else had. When I went home and wanted somebody to cry and talk to and put my arm around and say everybody was all right, there was nobody there because Mum had to work. Mum had to work because we were a one-parent family. And the loneliness there, And what I see in my childhood with my parents splitting up, and like, I just wanted somebody to reach out and hold me. Yeah. So when I grew up, the natural thing for me to do was, whoever wanted to do that, allow them to do to a certain extent what they did do, because I see it in my childhood, from school ridiculing, from people in the street. Mum and Dad had a pub as well, so I always see people go there on a Saturday night, and the drinking was how they enjoyed themselves, and then they ended up rowing at the end of the night and calling everybody everything. It was part of the parcel back in the day, that's what happened in relationships. So for me to bring that into my relationship, for that to happen in my relationship, and for me to be okay with it, was just the normal to me. I just thought, well, that's what goes on. Yeah, that's my story. It could be very different for everybody else. But my moral of my story is, when I started going deep with my mental behind my why, and clearing all them beliefs, and journaling them out, and meditating on them, and clearing them, my life started to change. I felt so much lighter. I come through, it was like a quadrant leap. It was like, I had to go back and find my childhood, and I didn't even really I couldn't even remember. I was that angry and frustrated within myself of being trapped the way I was in my elder day, that I sort of like forgot about my happiness that I had. It sort of like got just tucked away. I couldn't even remember about my childhood. It's so unreal how we just forget, because our subconscious mind only holds on to what we allow it to hold on to. It doesn't know anything else. It's our teaching factor. What we give it to what we say, that hears, and it runs with it, and it sticks with it. And more often than not, 99 point whatever %, it doesn't remember the good. Because when we've been hurt, or we've got trauma from our past, we don't remember the good stuff either. It sort of takes over. The bad stuff takes over, and we don't hear or even think about the good stuff much. And it's quite sad to think that, because life is, you know, you have had that happy childhood, you have had that happiness, but we just forget about it when we get to the certain age of society where we have to be as good as our siblings, we have to have the good house like everybody else, the car, and you're not as good as this, and you're not doing as well as them. Well, do you know what? You're your own person, guys. And if you're not doing as good as anybody else, as long as you're happy, that's the main thing. And I'd forgot how to be happy. I'd forgot how to smile. I'd forgot how to be at ease around people. It got to the point where I was that empty when my mum died that I used to just drink to forget, to be in the same zone as everybody else that was around me. Yeah, I would eat more when I felt depressed. When something was dragging me down, I'd just reach for comfort, whether it be more food, more wine, buying myself a gift. But at the time when I was doing all that, I was forgetting what was going on in my head, so it was good. It was just filling the void all the time. Equally, when I woke up the next day and I felt absolutely headached or bloated from the food, or looked in the bank and there was no money there, or less money than what I expected, then I was back down in that rat hole again. It's a constant uphill and uphill and uphill and down. But life is that, and life will always be like that. But what we can do is clear the limited beliefs that are keeping you stuck and bringing that past. You know, like you probably, I mean, like my husband, he says that's all I ever know, because he's a very negative Nelly, and lives in his past quite a lot. And people might sit here and think, well, how can you be with him? Well, that's because I'm different now. So I handle the situation different. Yeah, I no longer, when he shouts, I no longer shout with him. I just answer in a different way, and it blocks it off. He stops because he just don't know where to go with it. He's like, hang on a minute, there's nothing backfiring here. I'll just give up and shut up. And in the end, they do. Yeah, and it's a journey you go on day in, day out. Equally, if you're not safe in that environment and you're not safe in that relationship, trust your intuition, get out, do whatever you need to do. But if it's just a case of that you're like me and you're feeling confused and hurt and depressed and always blaming others for your downfalls, which is what I did. I blamed my husband all the time, and I blamed him for not getting this and me for not doing, and it was a big ball of blame. You know, it's his fault he didn't cuddle me enough, it's his fault he didn't love me enough. He's been in my life for so many years, obviously it's always going to be him because he's been here. Yeah. Or you know, you could have like somebody that's like, oh well, it's my mum's fault, she never wants to help me anyway, she helps my sister, my brother, but she never wants to help me. Well, have you even asked? Because if you don't ask, you don't know. It's really little simple things, but to begin with, it's so scary because it's like my husband, I say to my husband, well, you know you can change, I've changed, I've cleared all my beliefs and I'm a different person. He says, yes, I know you are. So and he says to me, can you help me? And I'm like, no, you can only help yourself. There is no quick fix. You can only help yourself. And that's another story. Yeah. But if you are wanting or feeling any way that I've explained to you, and you're scared because I don't want to go down in the past, I don't want to revisit my hurts and pains, I can understand that, and I totally can because I've been there. But the thing is, until you go into your feelings and your emotions, if you don't go into your feelings and feel deep into your soul of how you're actually feeling, for me to guide you and support you in a way where you can change that around, then that's up to you. But if you are ready and you do want to take that plunge and see the change that can be made, then I'm here for you guys. I'm here for you. Yeah? I know when I say it's just behind your why, there is a lot of work to be done, and it makes me so proud to be able to sit here and offer my tools and techniques to you guys to take you through the same journey as what I have, but in a different context, because nobody's got the same life, obviously, to create that levelness in your life, that feeling of just being at peace and at flow. Yeah. But it is a thing that you have to do daily. It is a daily practice. It's just like getting up and putting the kettle on. And the more you unpick your beliefs, the more you clear them, the lighter you feel, and you'll just do it daily. You'll just do it daily. That's all I've just come on to say, really. And life is for living. Life is for living. And many people say, yeah, it's all right, I've got rid of it, it's gone, it's behind me, it no longer affects me. But it does, because if you sit and really think, does it keep coming back in your life? Do you still keep feeling confused and stressed about the boyfriend that left you, or the mother that doesn't help you enough, or the boyfriend that talks to you like rubbish? Does it still keep reoccurring in your life? Because that is what it is. It's a past limitation that keeps coming into your life because it's not in alignment with you anymore. It no longer serves you. And this is why it weighs you down. It makes you feel heavy and suppressed. Okay? Now, if you want to know any more, please send me a message. I'm going to pop a link in the bio that will take you to a place of working with me one-on-one if you wish to, guys. Okay, the link will be there, And that is what I am here to help you with. Yeah, to guide and support you to be free. Why wouldn't anybody want to be free? Yeah? Join my Trust Your Intuition group, or just send me a message and I can send you the link to put you into my Facebook groups. So take care of you. Have a lovely day wherever you are in the world. If you're watching this video and it resonates with you and you get a little bit of a ha-ha moment, please reach out. If you think it resonates with anybody else, please send the link to those. There are lots of things that go on in relationships and families and things like that. There's always fallouts, and there's always just things that need to be tweaked. And many a time in my life, I was the people pleaser that smoothed the path for everybody to be quiet and for everybody to be happy. You know, if there was a big fallout, it was sure would be me fixing that void that was made by somebody else. And unbeknown to me, for me doing that, I just wanted a peaceful life. I was just trying to keep the peace. Unbeknown to me, I was being that people pleaser, running around doing everything. Excuse me. I was that person that was messed up inside, down and depressed, while the person that was making all the drama exist was walking away with not caring the world and leaving it all for me to pick up. And I was quite happy to pick it all up. But this is what was upsetting me, as well as everything else. So if anything resonates with you, please care and share. Have a good day wherever you are, in the morning, the afternoon, evening. Please press replay if you're going to watch it on the replay. And let's reach out. Bye-bye.